The iPhone 6 and 6 Plus were released in 2014 and marked a shift in Apple's thinking. For years, they had followed the goal of each phone being small enough to use with one hand, but these phones were significantly bigger, and this was a good move considering the 6 and 6 Plus quickly became the best-selling smartphones of all time, and by a considerable margin. But here we are in 2019 with the iPhone 6 still being supported on iOS 12. Hey, how's it going? I'm Josh from 91 Tech, and today we're asking the question, will the iPhone 6 get iOS 13? Real quick, just want to say thank you for 100,000 subscribers. That number is insane and you all are awesome. I'm planning on doing a Q&A at some point here, so if you want to be a part of that, go follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. That's where I'll be posting the threads for that, at 91_tech. But that being said, I'll save that all for a different video. For now, let's talk about whether or not the iPhone 6 will be getting iOS 13. Now, this is a tough question to answer because frankly, I have no idea. We've heard a lot of conflicting rumors, including one saying that even the iPhone SE might not get iOS 13, so it's fair to say things are a bit confusing at the moment. But if you want a really quick answer, my prediction would actually be no, the iPhone 6 won't get iOS 13. However, the iPhone 6s and SE will. How did I come to this conclusion? I'll get to that in a minute, and it's worth mentioning that there are some flaws in my reasoning as well, which I'll also get to. Firstly, how do we have any idea at all what devices will be getting iOS 13? Well, Apple has had a pretty straightforward pattern throughout each iOS update. Normally, the oldest device will be retired, while anything newer will get the update as expected. Apple changed things up slightly last year by allowing the 5S to download iOS 12. This was for a number of reasons. The 5S could handle it, for one, being 64-bit, and actually having decent hardware inside. Secondly, iOS 12 was a performance-centered update, the first one in a very long time. It was actually faster than the buggy iOS 11, and therefore was no trouble for the iPhone 5S to run. iOS 12, in my opinion, is the best update in a long time, and I hope we see more like it in the future. But iOS 13 is ramping up to be a much bigger deal, with a potential redesign and a number of new features. We can safely assume the iPhone 5S won't receive the update, and personally, I don't think the 6 will either. Why? Well, the 6 actually isn't much faster than the 5S. It received almost no spec bump, with the A8 chipset not really being much faster than the A7. The only major change was really the screen size between these two phones. Plus, if iOS 13 is the update it's ramping up to be, the 6 would likely be quite slow on iOS 13. This is something Apple will want to avoid, considering failures like the iPhone 4S on iOS 9. Apple's really leaned into keeping older devices supported, and what they won't want is for the iPhone 6 to be unusable. You might say, well, sure they do. They want it to be slow, so you buy the new iPhone. But I think a big part of Apple's current plan is to keep you invested in their ecosystem. The longer you have that older iPhone, the more likely you'll buy more of their products in the meantime, such as AirPods, and then eventually another new iPhone because you have all these Apple products already anyways. All that being said, I really don't know any of this for sure. It's all just conjecture. There are holes in it too, like the 6th generation iPod Touch, for example. It is still being sold on Apple's website and only has the A8 processor, the same as the iPhone 6. Worse yet, it's actually slower than the iPhone 6 as the chip is underclocked. If Apple somehow is still selling this come the release of iOS 13, there's no way it wouldn't be supported. The solution to this issue for Apple? Well, simple. Either the iPod will be completely discontinued this June or will be replaced with a new generation. I actually have hope the latter could happen with a refresh of the iPad mini happening earlier this year, so you never know. The iPhone 6 was a great phone for the time, but it has never really aged well, and it's because of the 1GB of RAM. The iPhone 6s and newer have always felt way faster because, again, more RAM. While it would be out of Apple's patterns not to update the iPhone 6, I really could see that happening this year. So to conclude this fairly short video, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus likely will not get iOS 13, in my opinion, just based on the rumors we've been seeing and the apparent notion that iOS 13 will be a big update. But what do you think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Are we in the end game game for the iPhone 6? We'll be finding out pretty early June as Apple talks about iOS 13 at WWDC 19, but in the meantime, I'm quite curious to hear your thoughts. Actually, in the upper corner right now, you'll see a little card with a vote, and you can vote there whether or not you think the iPhone 6 will get iOS 13. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video interesting, maybe hit that like button and consider subscribing for more content just like this. Again, thank you so much for 100K. It's really surreal. I never thought I'd get this far. You can always follow me over on Twitter and Instagram at 91_tech if you want to keep up. Links below. And with that all being said, I'm Josh from 91tech, and I will see you all next time.